Howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of Mingles with Jingles. T-shirt of the week first?
Yes.
You can go first actually.
I got a SAFA, the Armored Forces charity.
Soldiers, Sailors and Airmens something association.
Yes.
I can't remember. It looks after, it's a charity for service people here in the UK.
It's one of...
Soldiers, Sailors and Airmen's Families Association, that's it. You gotta get it eventually.
They are one of the oldest charities that supports veterans active duty. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Active service.
Yeah.
And their families in the UK. And I actually, some time ago, I asked online which was a charity that supported these individuals the most. And by far the largest response that people gave was SAFA. I also got to meet a couple in real life that were directly supported by SAFA. I did not ask anything to them. I just eavesdropped in a conversation they were giving to friends of mine, and just the good way that they spoke about SAFA has really cemented my support for this association.
Yeah, I used to, when I was working at the unit personnel office at HMS Nelson in Portsmouth in the naval base, there's a SAFA office there just around the corner from the unit personnel office, and we'd work with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they do very good work.
Can I make
a
plug in?
Yeah, go on. There's a reason why she's wearing the SAFA shirt.
So ever since during my birthday, I like to make a little piggy for charity, and I always support SAFA. And my birthday was in the 1 of July, so we'll leave a link in the description down below. So if you want to, even $1, £1, it's something.
Only if you remind me to put the link there.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
all of your merch sales are going to SAFA?
Yes, this month as well. All of my merchandise, my Stug Life t-shirts and so on. Everything that is my earnings, not the artist, I did not talk with him, but all from my proceedings are going for SAFA as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing my We Belong Together t-shirt because the Tank Museum is opening today.
Yay!
Well, not today, because today's Sunday, but
Tomorrow.
You're watching this on Monday, so today, on Monday, Tank Museum reopens. We had Virtual Tank Fest last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good.
It was
Hope
really
you
nice.
watched it and enjoyed it. If you can't, the video on demand is available. I think certainly on the Tanks Museum's website, Facebook page, probably also on their YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
And they're TOG merchandise. They've got TOG cups, t-shirts, all kinds of different stuff. So that's why I'm wearing this one. And while we're talking about related stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I keep meaning every single time we sit down to do this, I keep thinking, right, I must thank everybody who supports me on Patreon. Because of you guys, this video is advert free. And I keep forgetting to do that. And I say because of you guys, this video is advert free. Except when it isn't, and more on that later.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's supposed to be there are not supposed to be any adverts on Mingles with Jingles. When you guys all started, when I put the Patreon page up and you guys all started supporting me there, I said, right, as a thank you for that, Mingles with Jingles will be advert free. And I always intended to be advert free, but sometimes, as we'll discuss later, events get taken out of my hands, and record companies decide, actually, we want to monetize this video and run adverts on it. More on that in a moment. Shall we go on to the beer of the week?
Oh yes, please.
It's kind of a return of an old favourite, but also not. Look at that bad boy.
Mm.
Beer in wine bottles.
Oh my!
It's I've been calling it Leffe. Apparently, you're supposed to give it the Dutch pronunciation, which would be Leffe.
Leffe. Okay.
Although if you're in France, they just call it Lef.
Okay.
They drop the E.
I'm with the French on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grab yourself a glass. This is Leffe Ruby, which apparently is very malty. Lots and lots of malt.
Mm-hmm.
I've never tried this, but if it's as good as the Leffe Blonde... Oh. So you get first sip.
Alright.
And let everybody know what it's like.
Thank you. Ooh, the color of that.
It's red. That's probably why they call it Ruby.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be interesting.
It smells really nice.
You better like it.
Mm. It smells almost like cider.
It does.
Fruity
actually.
cider.
A very fruity smell. Oops.
Okay. I'll wait for you to pour because you're a man, you can only do one thing at once.
This is true. I don't multitask.
Okay, let me try.
Also, I'm really clumsy, and if I'll just drop stuff.
Let me try this.
Check that out. It looks almost like a rosé wine.
It's like
It's very flowery.
it's like beer and cider had a love child.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Well, it doesn't taste appley in the way that cider does. It's more like a flower cider.
And
like
then there's
like elderberry cider. But it tastes like beer as well. I like this stuff.
when you drink it, like it attacks the sides of your tongue.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
It's really refreshing.
I'm not sure about this one.
Oh, that's a shame.
There's like an acidity, like in the back of the tongue as
Oh
well.
dear. Oh, don't worry. I'm sure I'll be able to take care of it for you.
By the way, people think we are some sort of always drinking and alcoholic and so on.
No, they don't. There are a couple of stupid people.
I just wanted to get that out of
comments.
the way.
Oh no, Jingles is promoting underage drinking. Do I look underage to you? I mean, thank you for the compliment.
If anything, we are promoting responsible drinking. We try one every week and that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But don't, never let the truth get in the way of a good internet comment.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, so lockdown restrictions here in the UK were eased yesterday. Well, I say yesterday, by the time you watch this, it'll have been 2 days ago on the 4th of July. Purely coincidental, America. Don't get excited. And the first people in England to get married since the lockdown started, Louise Arnold and Jennifer Wilson, both aged 22, did so at midnight on the day the lockdown restrictions were lifted. It had never even occurred to me that there had been no marriages in England since lockdown started, but of course there wouldn't be, would there?
I'm more surprised that people can get married at midnight.
Apparently, because they've been engaged for 3 years.
Yeah.
And they had to abandon their original wedding date. The local registrar office called them up and said, "Do you want to be the first people in England to get married?"
Oh, that's amazing.
And they said, "Yep."
That's really sweet.
So they arranged a midnight wedding ceremony. So yeah, there've also been queues outside barber shops because there's things that you just don't really consider. Like nobody's been able to get married for the last 4 months. Nobody's been able to get a haircut for the last 4 months. I mean, I've got my own clippers and I just because it's.
At this point, I'm using so much shampoo on these. At this point, I'm tempted to go Britney Spears.
Oh God, no. No, you're not. But yeah, people have been queuing up to get their first haircuts in 4 months, with some barbers staying open until midnight to keep up with the demand.
Wow.
Then, of course, there were the pictures, and they're not difficult to find, of London's Soho district, where the streets have been closed to traffic. Not because traffic has been posed in any kind of danger, but because traffic was unable to get through the streets because they were jammed shoulder to shoulder with tens of thousands of people all trying to get into the newly reopened pubs and restaurants.
With the whole restriction being lifted and so on, there's, it's not like the government are saying, okay, you're not allowed to have common sense. And there is one thing, and probably won't sound good in English, but I always, when I'm watching like zombie series and so on, I was like, that character is so fucking stupid. Sorry for the cursing. And now we are going through a pandemic. I'm like, damn, I am so sorry to all of those, storytellers
all
and
of
so on.
the producers of those, like Fear the Walking Dead and all that, for making unbelievably, unrealistically stupid characters. And it turns out they weren't far short of the mark.
Yeah.
The city of Leicester, however, the streets are still deserted because it's in local lockdown. It's the first UK city to have restrictions reimposed.
Yeah.
After a spike in coronavirus cases. They actually got 3 times as many new cases as the next highest city in the UK, Bradford. So they're clearly leading the pack in second wave coronavirus cases. And so Leicester is not enjoying pubs reopening and restaurants reopening. And I say they're reopening, but if you have a look, the restrictions that you have to abide by in order to reopen. I mean, around here, I'm sure Gunwharf Quays over in Portsmouth, they've basically got we haven't. The problem here is that public transport is not great. It usually is, but in the middle of with the lockdown, public transport is absolutely terrible. And neither of us drive, and we don't have a car. So, yay, we can leave the house, except we can't.
That's something I wanted to surprise you with.
Oh?
Earlier this year.
Yes.
With the driving license.
If you've been having driving lessons, that becomes a great surprise.
No, that's exactly. I wanted to surprise you earlier this year with the driving license. Just disappear every now and then, and then come back with the driving license. And then trying to force you inside of a car where that I am driving. But
yeah, we've been in cars that you've been driving before, haven't we, Rita? Borderlands 2.
Oh, come on, that's a good example.
How many did you wreck? All of them?
It was more.
It's like, don't let her get in the car first.
It's just the way that the Borderlands.
More than all of them. Wow, that's impressive.
It's just the way that you control. There's a bitch fight happening.
Yeah.
Just the way you control the vehicle. I'm actually a pretty good driver, I like to believe.
Tanks aren't the same, Rita.
Yeah, it's true. I can fit a tank in a very tight, busy space, but when I had my first driving lesson, I was in a smart car and I could barely keep the smart car on my lane. It was just so... it's like... It's just...
You're not filling me with confidence here, Rita.
Well, maybe I just need to, to get a big car. Just joking.
Yeah. So yeah, restaurants and pubs and what have you, they've relaxed the 2 metre rule down to 1 metre as long as people aren't facing each other and they're wearing face masks, and they've got like perspex screens set up between tables, and you're encouraged to use, like, for example, there's a chain of restaurant pubs here in the UK called Wetherspoons, and they've got their own app, so you don't even have to go. You're not allowed to go to the bar. Right? You have to. It's table service. It's table service, and if you have the Wetherspoons app, you're encouraged to use that, so that you don't even have to speak to somebody to get your food delivered to your table, and so on and so on.
Surprisingly, despite people being on the streets, Wetherspoons was very empty. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How? When?
During the easing, I just saw on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So it must be true.
Cinema's opening as well, but if like 2 people go to the cinema, the 12 seats around them have to be empty, which means that basically most cinemas are only at best going to be capable of running at 25% capacity, which is what cinemas run at anyway.
Yeah.
Except during the summer blockbuster season, which is like, now. So business as usual for cinemas. But anyway, onto the subject of copyright again. So, you might remember an episode of Mingles with Jingles just over a month ago, where right at the end, one of my old shipmates from HMS Newcastle, his son, has joined the Navy, and there was some video footage of his passing out parade from HMS Raleigh, the basic training establishment in the Royal Navy. The Royal Marine Band were playing, I can't remember what it was the theme from The Last of the Mohicans, a Hans Zimmer tune. And I tacked that onto the end of the episode of Mingles with Jingles. Mingles with Jingles, of course, advert free, thanks to everybody who supports me on Patreon. Well, that video got claimed by a record company.
Oh, of course it does.
Within an hour of my publishing it. Actually, no, before it was even published, because I upload the video and then I go to publish it the next morning and I found that it had already been claimed even before I published it. What this meant was that the video got monetised and ads were run on it, with the ad revenue being paid to the record company. Now, I don't monetise Mingles with Jingles. These videos are advert free as a way of thanking my Patreon supporters. But I do include I included the segment of the video where a band happens to be playing in public in the background and some record company starts putting ads on my video and claiming the revenue. I, of course, submitted a dispute because it was music in the background in a public event. Similar thing has happened with Tank Fest videos, because when the tanks are moving around the arena, the Tank Museum is usually playing music over the public address system. Now, they have the right to play that music. They have... It's taken care of legally. And it ain't my fault that the Tank Museum is playing music in the background when I'm filming their tanks, but these videos get claimed anyway. Usually, the record companies, because I dispute it, I say, well, look, this is the situation. You could be filming your cat and somebody's walking past with a very loud radio.
Exactly.
It's not your fault, is it? You're not recording the music, it is playing in the background. And usually the record company say, okay, fine. Not this time, of course. You see, here's what happens anytime a video gets claimed on YouTube. Any advertising revenue gets held in escrow or escrow, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it basically gets set aside. The video continues to be monetized, even though the video is not supposed to be monetized in the first place, because those are the policies that I set for Mingles with Jingles. Oh, where were we? Sorry, I lost my place. Yeah, until yeah, that's it. I might have to edit this. Any ad revenue is held in escrow by YouTube until the dispute's been settled, and then it's paid to the winner of the dispute. Which doesn't help much, since the video is not supposed to be having ads run on in the first place. But what happens when you dispute a copyright claim on YouTube? What's supposed to happen is that the claimant reviews your dispute and decides whether or not you have a point, at which point they either reject your dispute and continue to claim all the revenue for the entirety of the 40-minute video where you included 20 seconds of their music being played accidentally in the background, or they agree that you have a point and they release your claim. It's entirely up to them, but it does involve an actual person being paid to take the time to actually take a look at your dispute.
Mm-hmm.
So what tends to happen in practice is that your dispute gets completely ignored, because if they just ignore it, after 30 days the dispute defaults in their favour and they get to keep all the money anyway.
Wow.
So it's more cost effective for them to not even bother looking at their emails and just continue to let their algorithms claiming shit left, right and centre and not even bother to pretend that they're checking to ensure that their software isn't getting it wrong. I can't help but feel that if an unresolved dispute defaulted in favour of the person making the dispute, rather than the record company making the claim, the record companies might start actually giving a shit about making sure they got their claims right. But since it doesn't, and they get paid for not doing anything, it's not surprising that they continue to not do anything.
Exactly. I actually received a copyright claim as well on the Dartmouth Pass Out. Royal Marines
because the
playing
Royal
as
Marine
well.
Band were playing on the Passing Out.
It's like, you don't own this music. So I disputed, but I thankfully won that one.
Yeah. When it comes to public events, a lot of the time they say, okay, public event, fine. But a lot of the time they also don't, because it's just, it pays them to not bother.
I actually advocated some months ago, I advocated around to museums and tank events that while we all like songs like The Eye of the Tiger, in this day and age where a lot of museums, a lot of events, they can get a lot of advertisement value from the internet, it does not really play well having those songs being played in the arenas while people are trying to record content. I personally, I have footage that I don't know what to do with it, because I have Eye of the Tiger playing in the background. I probably
well, just mute it, but then you can't hear the engines.
Exactly,
and that's part of
exactly the
it's
problem.
It's like, I took this video of a Spitfire, but I had to mute it because the display was playing music. Part of most of the attraction of seeing a Spitfire is hearing the sound of the Merlin engine.
Yeah.
I'm even getting videos claimed where I do hold a copyright license. I'm not making this up. Right? There's an extremely good internet musician who goes by the name of D1 of Aquavibe. And years ago, I heard some of his music and I thought, this is absolutely fantastic. 3 songs in particular: the Happy Troll song, the Party Troll song, and Inner World of Derp. And I've used them extensively in things like Why You Have to Be Mad. But before I used them, I wrote to him. I emailed him and said, can I get your permission to use this music? I'll pay you if you want me to, because I love the music and I want to use them in YouTube videos. And he wrote back to me saying, no problem whatsoever, use them free of charge, just give me credit in the video description.
Yeah.
What a guy. However, his record company
Yeah.
don't appear to have gotten that memo. They're called TuneCore, or they're a rights company, whatever. But TuneCore keep monetizing and claiming, well, they're monetized anyway, but they keep claiming any video that I have uploaded with D1 of Aqua Vibes music, even though I am legally and morally perfectly entitled to use that music because I have permission from the copyright holder himself in writing. And every time they claim a video, I dispute it and tell them that I have permission in writing from the copyright holder, and they just ignore it for 30 days and then take all the money from the video anyway.
Yeah.
So even when I'm right, I lose.
One thing I started doing, because every now and then I do like to have Creative Commons music in the background, and
Yep.
sometimes some of it gets falsely copyright claimed. That also happens. Thankfully, a lot of those copyright claims happen even before I publish the video.
Oh, so you just don't publish it?
I just don't publish it. I re-upload it.
Dispute it?
And I keep the other one, I dispute it, just to see if I can waste those people time. I re-upload it, sometimes with the same music,
Doesn't get claimed.
doesn't get claimed.
What's going on? There's no consistency here at all, is there?
I just run my own business while trying to waste their time as much as possible. I don't see them any differently than one of those, scammers from India or than the Nigerian braids. I will waste as much time of their life as I can.
You go, girl. So anyway, the Jingles captain in World of Warships.
Yes.
It has come to my attention because when we recorded the voice lines, I made a point that I get as many ship identifications wrong as possible.
Yes.
Because, well, you know why. And now you can't specifically, like the captain doesn't specifically name the ships that they're looking at. When a ship gets spotted, they don't say USS South Dakota spotted. They'll just say enemy battleship spotted. So what we did was we just jumbled the lines around. So I never call it out correctly in World of Warships if you've got me as your captain. So a destroyer pops up and I'll say enemy aircraft carrier spotted. And apparently people have been saying that having me as their captain has vastly improved their situational awareness in World of Warships because they can't trust a fucking thing I say.
That's amazing.
So they're playing the enemy destroyer spotted. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, where? Looking out for torpedoes. Look at the minimap. It's a battleship. Like, oh. So rather than trust me, they're watching their minimap.
That's really cool.
So, if you want to get better at World of Warships, have me as your captain.
No, that sleepy baby.
Yes, a little pussycat who they can't see, so, there's absolutely no point in saying anything.
I know, but she's just looking so adorable. She looks like a lynx.
So, we mentioned that the Tank Museum's reopening today. However, I think it's worth pointing out that you can't just turn up and pay money on the door and go in. That they'll turn you away. You must book online via their website, so they can control the numbers of people who are turning up. So they're going to have like one-way system and so on and so on. They're going to limit the number of people in the museum at any one time, which during
normal days
during
it's not
normal
hard at
days
all.
it shouldn't be a problem because there's usually very few people in there. On the weekend or on a public holiday or right after the lockdown restrictions end, they might see a surge in visitors. So if you don't want to be disappointed, do go to their website first and do book a ticket online so that they can guarantee that you'll be able to get in and they'll be able to control access.
And if you go to the foodie area or to the
restaurant,
the
cafeteria.
Thank you. The cafeteria, that's it. They have some amazing 10 beers. Check it out.
Oh, they do, yes.
They do rotate the trademarks and so on,
I think they also
but
sell
all of them, they've always been
I
consistently
think the ones
good.
that they sell in the cafeteria, they also sell in the gift shop,
Yes,
so you can take
exactly.
away with you. And they are very, very good beers.
Yeah.
So anyway, eBay emailed me just a couple of days ago,
All right.
letting me know that due to suspicious activity on my account, they needed me to verify my security details, so I should just click on this email link with my address, phone number and bank details handy. Who'd have thought that eBay had fallen on such hard times that they'd have to start sending me emails from expired and suspended domains like amazingapps.co. eBay apparently are now using the amazingapps.co domain address.
Yeah, not com.
Who'd have thought? In other news, we talked last week about Dr. Disrespect getting banned from Twitch for reasons that nobody is prepared to clarify. And in fact, nobody could even state 100% for sure that Dr. Disrespect had been banned from Twitch. And a week later, still nothing. No news. Twitch haven't elaborated. And Dr. Disrespect, beyond the initial tweet that he made, has said nothing. Although, if you go to Dr. Disrespect's Twitch channel, it's just not there anymore. So I think we can probably assume that he has been banned. Whether that's permanently or not, probably yes. But nobody knows because nobody's saying anything. Twitch never say why. They trot out the usual, we've determined that breaches of our code of conduct have occurred and we have taken the appropriate action. But
they don't have to.
They don't say what the breaches were and they don't say what the appropriate action is. All you know is somebody's not on Twitch anymore. And beyond Dr. Disrespect saying, I have no idea why, that's it. Nobody knows.
That's the thing, it's in the TOS, it's in their right to not give a reason why.
Yeah, they can terminate your account for whatever reason and they don't have to give you a reason. All they have to do is tell you your account's terminated.
So it's very clear that Doctor knew that it was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in related news, I was browsing PC Gamer looking for stuff that's happened in gaming this week, and there was been a whole bunch of allegations of sexual misconduct and all kinds of stuff in the gaming industry in particular over the course of the last couple of weeks. And this is a good thing. You know, if you're a victim of sexual abuse, come out, face your accusers, and get it investigated.
Yeah.
But this is the point that I think needs to be addressed. It's important that it's investigated. People shouldn't be tried in the court of public opinion. Because there are two incidents that have happened in the last week, since last week's episode. I can't even remember the names of specifically of the... At first when I saw the headline it said EVO Online cancelled, and I thought, what? EVE Online's been cancelled? What do you mean? Yeah. But no, they were talking about another thing, EVO Online, with an O on the end, which apparently is a fighting game tournament, and it was supposed to occur between the 4th of July and last an entire month, and the whole thing's been shit-canned because one person has made allegations against the president of EVO Online. Unsubstantiated, no evidence other than the one person saying so, nothing's been investigated, and the panic amongst anybody who had anything to do with that tournament, as they all went, oh shit, allegations of sexual misconduct, I was never here, and they all jumped ship. Something like 29 streamers and competitors have all withdrawn from the tournament. The sponsor MSI has withdrawn from the tournament, which has basically just left the tournament dead in the water, and so the organisers have had no option but to cancel the whole thing and fire the president.
Yep.
All based on one unsubstantiated, uninvestigated and unproven allegation. Is the guy guilty? We don't know. Has he lost his job? Has the entire tournament been scuppered? Absolutely yes. Now, it may very well be that the guy is guilty, but, you know, isn't there... What happened to due process? What happened to an investigation? What happened to the police? It's literally, it's trial by Twitter. Now, another incident came to light. Kind of related, but, well, on the same subject. There's a World of Warcraft clan called Method. They're the top World of Warcraft clan in the world, competitive. They take part in Path of Exile, they take part in World of Warcraft PvP tournaments, they take part in Mythic Dungeon Invitationals. On the World of Warcraft launcher app, the news on the front page that scrolls through, you'll often see Method, World of Warcraft Dungeon Mythic Invitational, watch it tonight on Twitch. You know, they get advertised by Blizzard themselves. Well, one of their members goes by the name of Method Josh, no stranger to allegations of sexual misconduct. It turns out the stuff that's been coming out, people are finally coming forward. Lots and lots of people are coming forward. It's not just him, there's also the co-CEO of Method, a guy who goes by the name of something Stefan. Again, I don't know the names. I've got them written down somewhere, but whatever. I'm just going off the cuff here. For a long time now, and there's been evidence on conversations on Discord where this Method Josh guy has been saying that girls aged between 15 and 16 were the perfect age. He's been making misogynistic and racist remarks, all documented in screenshots. It was revealed that last year he was under police investigation for grooming underage girls. Girls as young as 14 have been saying that he'd invited them to take part in threesomes. It's just really nasty stuff. And it's not just one person making the allegations. There are at least 8 people all saying, yep, me too, and going into explicit detail. And all of the stories sound very, very similar.
Yeah.
And then you've got other people also in Method, people like Annie Fuchsia, who's the only World of Warcraft streamer I have ever watched for any length of time. She's a lovely person. I think she's from Sweden or Turkey. I'm not really sure. It doesn't matter. It's not important. And she often also gets featured on the Blizzard launcher for World of Warcraft, where she streams and she gets her followers from Twitch into her raid and runs them through, you know,
she boosts them.
She boosts them
Yeah.
through hard content in order to get them free stuff. She's a lovely, lovely person. She's also made allegations about the co-CEO of Method, who apparently abused his position to arrange for the two of them to be in a situation where he could make unwanted sexual advances against her, which she rebuffed. And then when she went to the other co-president or co-CEO to complain about it, this fella threatened legal action against her if she said anything. So this is all coming out, and the entire clan is just imploding. The entire PvP team has resigned. The Mythic Invitational Dungeon team have resigned. All of their sponsors are pulling out. I mean, they're just gone. Everybody involved, of course, is now saying how deeply sorry they are and how much they regret their actions, but it's all a little bit too late.
Especially things. I mean, in this case, if it has been going for such a long time, it's not. For example, oh, I did not know you were underage. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, and just never speak with the person again. This has been something that has been going on for a while,
and it has been known to the management, and has been known to the management of the clan. And I say clan, I mean this is a business.
Yeah.
You know, when you're playing at this kind of level, it's a business. Most of the people on the various different teams in this clan have contracts.
Yeah.
Right? They're paid to play for this clan, and it's gone. The whole thing is just imploded.
You know, and especially when something has been going on for such a long time, they're only apologizing because they got caught.
Yeah.
It's the only thing they feel sorry about is that they got caught. They don't feel bad about the things they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, this is good, but there has to be due process. The simple act of saying he did a bad thing should not be enough. That should be all that's required. Your word alone should be all that's required to start an investigation. And in a lot of cases, your word alone just gets swept under the carpet.
Yeah.
Or the management threatens you with legal action if you don't shut up. And that's unacceptable. But at the other end of the spectrum, having an entire tournament cancelled and publishers and promoters and sponsors pulling out left, right and centre, and everybody terrified of being tarred with the same brush as the person against whom a single allegation has been made, that's not right either. There has to be due process. By all means, come forward, make your allegations, but get them investigated.
Yep.
You know, trial by Twitter isn't fair on anybody. That's all. I guess that's all I really have to say about this.
You did good. You did good.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad I am actually quite glad I have your approval on that one, because it's an incredibly touchy subject.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, by all means, come forward, share your stories, face your accusers, start the investigation rolling, but make sure it gets investigated, because it wouldn't be the first time somebody cried wolf. Like, oh, what's her name? Amber Heard?
Oh God, yes.
Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's been in the shit house the last couple of years, hasn't he? because apparently he abused his girlfriend, or was it wife?
Wife.
Except it turns out that she made the whole thing up.
Yeah.
Did you just bite my thumb?
Yes.
Are you aware that have you read Romeo and Juliet?
No.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir? Alan Rickman's Romeo and Juliet. The film version of Romeo and Juliet starring Alan Rickman. You know who Alan Rickman is?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, she loves Alan. Or
Yeah.
loved. He's dead now, unfortunately. He's a great actor. A young Alan Rickman. You need to see it. In Romeo and Juliet, the Montagues and the Capulets at the beginning, one of the early scenes where they're all beating their chests at each other in the city streets. It starts off with one guy biting his thumb, and Alan Rickman going, "Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?" Because it's an insult. It's an insult in medieval Italy.
All right. The more you know.
The shit you know, eh?
I just bite because it's something my great grandmother used to do. If you point a finger,
I was doing this.
You was pointing out.
I was doing that. I wasn't doing that. God damn it.
It's something my great grandmother used to do. Bless her. I miss her.
Anyway, do you want some good news?
Yeah, of course.
Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to the PC.
Ooh.
You know what Horizon Zero Dawn is, don't you?
It's those big. It's that game with that big, like giraffe animal that looks like it has a Star Trek.
Big robot animals.
The Star Trek, spaceship saucer section on top.
The big robot animals game.
Yeah.
With the ginger.
Yeah.
That one.
He forced me to watch his gameplay a few times.
You loved it. It's coming to
I miss his
PC
shorts, man.
on the 7th of August, next month. Yay! And it's going to have numerous enhancements over the PlayStation 4 version. The frame rate will be unlocked for one thing. All kinds of other stuff. So yeah, after months of rumours and a confirmation that the game was headed to PC later this summer, developer Guerrilla Games has updated the Steam page to give an exact date. August the 7th, and when you buy it on PC, you get the whole thing. I think it comes included with the expansions and all of the various different DLC content, all in one go. So, hurrah, PC. Speaking of PC games,
All right.
Amazon Studios has a Fallout TV series in the works.
Oh my.
It could be good.
Yeah, but
It probably will be good.
there will be ghouls, Mirror Queens.
Well, steady on. I don't think the budget is going to be.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking about the universe. The universe has Marlar Queens, ghouls.
You saw the Witcher TV show. They had a CGI dragon.
I did not watch The Witcher.
It wasn't a very good CGI dragon. It was a pretty bad CGI dragon. But the opening sequence to the very first episode with the come on, Witcher fans, help me out, the thing in the bog, that was really good.
The Swamp Thing.
Yeah. They kind of blew half the season's budget on the first 2 minutes of the first episode.
Okay.
But it was really good. But anyway, the Fallout TV series coming to Amazon, although it's still in very early stages of development, is being helmed by Jonathan Nolan.
Alright.
Christopher Nolan's brother.
Doesn't ring
Christopher Nolan, the director of the Batman trilogy.
that would explain why I don't know who he is.
And Dunkirk and
Alright.
and Memento and what was the one that everybody's always doing the spinning top thing with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Starts with the letter I can't remember him. His brother. They also did the Westworld TV show.
Okay.
Which apparently was amazing for the first 2 seasons, and then season 3 is utter dog shit.
Okay.
I should. That's the thing. I've been wanting to watch Westworld, but I've heard. I think it's the 3rd season. Whatever. The latest season is apparently terrible, which is a shame because I've been wanting to watch Westworld because the review's been great. But everybody says, I don't want to start something that this is amazing, and then find out that it turns into an absolute stinker, which is apparently what everybody is saying. But they're the guys responsible for the Fallout. TV show, not the Fallout 76 TV show, just a Fallout TV show set in the Fallout universe.
I feel like it's going to be like Walking Dead. Very little zombies and too much sophicism.
Oh, give me a break. They had one bad season. Well, okay, the last 2 seasons were pretty terrible as well, but
I don't know. I'm very skeptical
season
about
2
that.
of The Walking Dead was a bit.
The sophicism.
Because that was basically, because I read the comics long before
Yes.
the TV show, and I was incredibly happy when I found out that they were making a TV show out of The Walking Dead. And the first season of The Walking Dead was great. The second season of The Walking Dead, they took 2 episodes of the comic, 2 issues of the comic, and spread it out over an entire season. Man, it dragged. But then season 3, 4, 5, 6 really picked up. And then it kind of... Anyway. But I digress. But these are the people making the... And also, unfortunately, Todd Howard's involved as well. But Jonathan Nolan's involved, so you've got, that. You got Todd Howard, but then you got Jonathan Nolan, so maybe it'll,
Yep.
We can but hope. And apparently, the game Valorant?
Mm-hmm.
I've never played
Isn't that
it.
the one from Riot?
Yes.
Okay.
League of Legends developers, aren't they?
Yeah.
At least I think it's the one from Riot. It might not be. Actually, Jingles, I don't know.
I'm almost sure.
I think it is, yeah.
Because I have people like on League of Legends just says that they're playing Valorant instead.
Yeah. They will now send you a message when a player you reported has been banned.
Mm-hmm.
According to Valorant anti-cheat lead Paul Chamberlain, the feature's still experimental. For now, you'll only get the message if you're actually in the client when the reported user gets to eat a dirt sandwich. Apparently Rocket League's been doing the same thing for a while, without problems.
League of Legends does that.
League of Legends does it, does it?
They have since forever. Today I log in and I got a warning the player reported got banned. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently it's doable. I'm just saying, Wargaming. It's possible.
And you don't have to name them. The company does not have to name them. They never give the names of the person, but you can always make a rough guess.
Yeah. Depends how many reports you filed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the reporting tool gets abused. But then again, that's why they get investigated before a ban is issued. And that's probably why World of Warships and World of Tanks will never do it, because it requires people to actually investigate the reports.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Riot system is actually really good that they have in League of Legends.
Do you know how it works?
Not really, but it's pretty much done automatically.
Oh, so
yes.
it's capable of...
It's capable of
analysing what... But they've probably spent quite some time and money developing a back end to go into the game that enables an automated system to work. Something that World of Tanks and World of Warships has not done.
Yeah.
And probably won't, because that's expensive.
But
they're not as big as League of Legends.
I have been playing League of Legends for pretty much as long as that game has been out. And I'm a main support. And every now and then, well, more often than I wish, there comes that player that plays audibly wrong and then blames it all on the support.
Always blame the healers.
Yes. It's almost like that meme of the guy on the bike and then he puts the stick in the rail and it falls like, oh, goddamn support. It's pretty much what it is.
I can remember the example.
Let me finish.
Oh, go on then.
But yeah, all these years, very often I get these people saying, I'm going to report you. Support reported, and never a single time have I been banned or even timed out or anything like that.
The example that always comes to mind, because you're probably aware I have played quite a bit of World of Warcraft over the course of the last 15 years, and I play all classes. I play tanks, DPS, healers, whatever. I'm playing my Night Elf Priest, Eluriel, and I'm in some low-level dungeon. I think it was the Stockades. Not that it matters, you wouldn't even know what that was unless you're a World of Warcraft player. And I was the healer. They call it the Holy Trinity in World of Warcraft. You've got the tank, the healer, and the DPS. The tank's job is to keep aggro, to keep the threat, to generate enough threat to hold the aggro of all the mobs, the bad guys. The healer's job is to make sure the tank doesn't die, and the DPS, their job is to kill everything without pulling aggro off them, without pulling aggro off the tank and onto them, and to kill everything before the healer's mana bar runs out and they can't keep the tank up any longer. Under a perfect situation, that's exactly what would happen, and in a lot of cases that is exactly what happens. I've had the pleasure to work with some really, really good, completely random, never met them before tanks, some tanks that weren't really good but tried. And if a tank tries, I'm prepared to cut them an infinite amount of slack. And some of the biggest arseholes are usually the DPS.
Oh yes, it's the same in League.
Yeah, they're just like they have to do the most damage. They have to get the biggest crits, and if they pull aggro, they never accept responsibility for it.
Yeah,
and that's par for the course of being a tank or a healer in a multiplayer online role-playing game. You know, just, oh great, the DPS pulled aggro again, and now the healer's trying to keep somebody alive who's wearing a nightdress for armour, no shield, and a minuscule health pool, instead of the tank who's wearing plate armour with a shield and has a metric arse ton of fucking health. And it's hard for a healer to keep the DPS alive when they're getting wailed on by a bunch of elites. But it was even worse than that. This one DPS character, we're in one room and the tank has gathered up all of the mobs, and he's doing a great job of mitigating the damage and keeping them off me and the other DPS. And then one of the DPS leaves the room, runs down the corridor, jumps into another fucking room, and starts attacking the mobs down there.
It's usually how it goes.
And then yelling at me for healing.
Yeah.
And he's 3 rooms away,
Just
out of line of sight, with 3 different walls between me and him.
Yeah.
Calls me the worst healer in the world because I let him die. And I did let it die.
Yeah, exactly.
In the hopes that it might teach him a lesson. Because if I had to run off after him,
The tank.
I probably wouldn't have been able to save him anyway, because he was 3 rooms away, and the tank would have died. And keeping his dumbass alive ain't my job. I'm looking after the tank. Nobody had any sympathy for him whatsoever, but oh yeah, he was writing reports against me and all
Yeah,
sorts.
well.
And that's, unfortunately, is just what it's like playing a support class.
It's pretty much the same in League, except that they call it the ADC, which is pretty much the same thing. The ADC.
Attack, defense, and control.
I think.
I'm guessing. I don't know. You don't even know what it is.
That's what it is. It's the ADC. Okay. ADC and support need to stick with one another.
Okay.
And there are situations where the combo, okay, or combo, because we are separated by lanes, and then there's the jungler. And there are some.
You probably don't have to explain what League of Legends is. But then again, you might, because I really didn't know,
Yes.
so go on.
But sometimes we have a combo that we may be late game, so it's not a very good idea for us to be aggressive at the beginning of the game. We need to build ourselves up.
Yeah.
In other instances, we just need to hold.
Is that like in, what's it called? That Blizzard game with Tracer and
We scale up.
Maker, where your ultimate takes a long time for you to.
Yes, there's
you're-
levels. You need to reach level 6 to get
so
your ulti. Yeah.
You have to play it safe in the beginning in order to get the big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you mean by late game. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we may be a late game combo.
I still can't remember the name of the game I'm talking about. You know the one? Widowmaker, Tracer,
Oh,
Diva.
Fortnite?
No!
Easy.
Oh! No. What's it called? What's the game? Oh, come on.
Sorry, let me just luxuriate that I got you in.
I have to explain what an easy is now, don't I? Later. Well, what's the game? Overwatch. There we go.
Overwatch.
Right.
Yes.
Fucking Fortnite. God, I can't believe you got me on that. Go on.
So yeah. And I warn my ADC, we need to play safe. Or I am going to play safe, because sometimes if I am picking, because it's randomizer, the game randomizes the ladder that you can pick the characters, so we cannot pick everything at the same time. It's like one side of the team picks, then the other side, and when you can kinda.
So like Overwatch.
Yeah, and sometimes I have to pick first, so the support picks my counter. So I need to warn the ADC, look, because not all of them know. As I need to warn, look, I'm going to play passive, let me build myself up. I tend to play like healers, I like to sprinkle their fairy dust.
Because if you try to jump in early,
I'm going to be
the
eating
other
alive.
team has picked your counter and
Yeah.
they're going to cream you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And instead, what the ADC does, when I say, we need to play safe, or I am going to play safe, they run straight into them. I try to sort of follow them. He dies. I almost died in the process because I tried to help the person out. It's like, fucking support, not helping me, report X9. I'm like, dude! And the
You're
most
expecting your teammates to listen to advice.
the most pleasant thing is that more often than not, the rest of the team just tell him to shut the hell up. Especially when we go into late gameplay, because in late game we group up. We try to stay in the same lanes and fight all together and get to the objectives.
Yeah.
And then they see that I'm actually... And even sometimes when they start blaming me as well, because they're not seeing what's happening in the lane, they then see them, oh, wait a minute, she's actually a good support. Yeah, you know what, I'm sorry. And you ADC, you shut up! So Yeah, it's
Vindication.
Yes, yes. But yeah, never got banned.
So anyway, an easy is a Royal Navy thing, and the thing about an easy is it's a very, very unfair
Yeah.
way of catching somebody out. It's very, very difficult to describe to a civilian, and it took you years to get it.
Yeah. Took a while.
And we kept, well, I would say I kept catching Rita out on easies, and she just didn't understand it. And that's the funniest part. You go for the lowest hanging fruit possible with an easy, even if it's completely unfair. And those are the best ones.
Yeah.
But looking at the reaction of the person who has no idea why you're rolling around clutching your sides laughing at them. So for example, in the Navy, I'll give you an example of a really cheap easy. Let's say I wanted to, my mate Vic, stores assistant Reeves, nicknamed Vic, I know he's on duty down in the stores office. So I know he's going to be the one to answer the phone. So from the ship's office, I'll ring the stores office. You'll pick the phone up, and as you do, when you answer the phone in the Navy, you're trained to say who you are and where you are. So we pick the phone up, say stores office, SA Reeves, how can I help? And then you'd say, is that SA Reeves? And then you go, yeah, it's SA Reeves. Easy!
So stupid.
So stupid. It's like, oh, you bastard!
Yeah.
Because he's just said he's SA Reeves. So when you say, is that SA Reeves? You know, the whole point of an easy is to say something so stupidly obvious that you wait for the other person to correct you.
Yeah.
And then you call them out, easy! Oh, for God's sake! You know. So it took her years to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
But she finally does. And she just got me on one.
Yes, which is one of those very rare.
One of those very rare occasions
Yeah.
where she actually, and she's so proud of it when it happens.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling to come up with the name of the game. And I know it's Overwatch, but I can't think Overwatch. So I'm reeling off characters. Tracer, Diva, Widowmaker.
I know which game.
She knows exactly which game I'm saying. She says, "Oh, you mean Valorant?" No, of course not. Easy. God damn it! You see, she never. It works both ways because it was so easy to get. It was so simple. It's probably the best way to say it, to catch you out on an easy, because you had no idea what it was, even when I explained it to
Yeah.
you. You never expected it.
Yeah.
And that's what made it even funnier. Just the look on her face when she realised I'd gotten her on an easy. But it worked the other way, because I don't expect her to be coming out with them, because for so long she is so bad at them.
And I usually catch you with the ones that I can easily pass myself as me being crap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and that's yeah, that's the genius part of it.
Yeah.
If you set somebody up for one where where it's in a subject or a topic where that person expects you to know nothing and be shit.
Yeah.
But you lay the hook for them in that subject anyway. Those are the best ones, because they're so. You're practically guaranteed to get a bite.
Yeah. I'm so glad.
Sexual abuse.
God's ball. God damn it.
You wait until I turn that camera off.
I'll bite it.
Yeah, she will. Anyway, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
a good one.
And you even got a
You did
Navy
very
story.
good.
You even got a Navy story, is what you've all been asking for. So there you go. Anyway, now, the moment of truth. It's good night from me.
And good night from him.
Hey! Good night.
I studied my lines this time.